All right, so kind of a different style of video, but I woke up today and I had a realization that I think would help, like, seriously 99.9% of all guys when they're dating. And the point that I'm going to cover today is, in the beginning, going to feel probably like a harsh or a bitter truth to some of you who are new to dating or have had some really bad experiences with some of the companions that you've had in the past. But rest assured, by the end of this video, you're going to have a full, in-depth understanding of what it actually means to be a man today and actually have purpose and have drive in a way that's attractive. And the only way that you can actually put those things together is you have to come to the conclusion for yourself, fully internalize and understand that women will never, ever love you unconditionally. Now, let's just take a quick pause and let that sink in. If you look at what 99% of men today want and what 99% of men crave, they crave things that are very emotionally driven, okay? They crave things like love. They crave things like companionship. They crave things like hand-holding. They crave things like romanticism, okay? Things of that nature will oftentimes make you weak in the long run, and things of that nature will oftentimes make you left, dumped, heartbroken, cheated, jaded, and have a skewed perception of what you thought the dating game was like or what women actually are. So this misconception and this one truth, if you can internalize the fact that a woman that you're seeing or a woman that you're dating will never in a million years love you unconditionally, that right there, internalizing that one truth, in my opinion and in my belief and with the men that I've worked with, the thousands of students inside of the masculinity blueprint over the years, I personally believe that if you internalize that one truth so deep within yourself, here's what's going to happen. That alone will already start to shift your persona. That already alone will start to shift how you speak. That's going to shift the seduction, the way that you go about interacting and communicating with potential prospects. Okay, that one truth is going to be the defining line to shifting the behavior of your old ways that probably left you in a state where you were heartbroken, dumped, or cheated on, and move you to a state where you actually have conviction and congruence within yourself. So here's why these things are extremely important for you to understand, like at the deepest of levels. Men are made, which means you have to actually make yourself a man, and specifically make yourself a man of value. Now, what you have to do in order to truly win, not even win in the dating game, I think that's even the wrong way of saying it. What you have to do to truly actually maximize options and even have a quality relationship for yourself, if that's your goal, is you are going to have to add value to your own life. And the only way that we can do this is we have to actually look at the things that makes a man attractive and what actually symbolizes value in a woman's eyes in the first place. The very first thing that is going to symbolize true attraction is going to be the ability for you to lead with rationale and objective truth, regardless of how that makes you feel, and not get emotional. This right here is the biggest turnkey factor for most guys. And notice I started off this video with that one tactic or that one tip before we talk about anything such as maximizing your body, maximizing your finances, maximizing your purpose, all that yada yada, the displays of high value typical traits. Internalize the fact that until you lead your life with raw, objective, rational truth and not leading by emotion, until you internalize that and until you live your life through that, it's going to be very hard to maintain the attraction with any woman. And here's why. When a man can do that, he's truly coming from a standpoint of rock solid masculinity and congruence within himself, which means he's not pulled off center. He does not lose his masculine frame, okay? There's things that could happen in the external world, and it's not going to be enough to shift his internal state, okay? So what happens to most guys at the very first sight of, maybe a female not approving of the things that they're doing, or the very first sight of conflict, or the very first sight of a verbal disagreement, is they're very quick to do one of three things. Either number one, they get argumentative. Number two, they get emotional. Or number three, they start to beg and get needy. And the second that you allow your internal emotions to go down any of these three rabbit holes during an interaction with a woman is the exact second that she loses attraction for you, because she senses that you are easily led astray. As a man, you cannot be led astray. You have to carry out your life in the way that you know will serve you best. And as it serves you, chances are it's going to serve the others around you as well, because you're actually leading with raw, objective thought and confident truth and not emotion. Okay. Once you are able to do that and you've internalized the masculine frame, you've internalized not being pulled off center, you've internalized the way you have to speak, the way you have to carry yourself. The next step then is you have to look at the other aspects of what women would actually perceive as valuable. So here's the fact. There is zero shortcut for building the type of warrior that you need to be. And that's why health and fitness, or any sort of fighting or developing the edge or the persona, when I say fighting, like maybe combat sports you get into, anything that builds your body and builds your confidence is the exact thing that women look for to feel safety and to feel protected. Because you have to look at this from an evolutionary standpoint. If a woman was around a man who she could not feel protected by, that would be a bad bet for survival for not only herself, but also her offspring. Okay, now here's what happens. When you develop your body, when you develop your strength, when you develop maybe your combat skills, any of these things that separates you from the 99% of most men, here's what's going to happen. You will speak different, you're going to walk different, and you're going to talk different. And you're going to have a different edge and a different persona to you. And it's not because you think you're the world's biggest badass, okay? You need to understand that. It's not because you think that you're tougher than everybody else. It's just because you know that you've done a certain amount of work that most people have not done, or most people are not willing to do. Therefore, you actually feel good about yourself. And when you start to develop these sort of lifestyle habits of not necessarily week by week putting in the work in your body, but understanding that health and who you are and actually developing the strength in the warrior is a lifelong mission and a lifelong goal, it starts to become you. Okay? It's not for an end result. It actually becomes who you are. As you do that, the other two aspects you want to look at is not only going to be your purpose and developing financial resources and financial gain for yourself, but you have to remember that during that aspect and during that time, it also can't be results driven and focus driven for an endpoint of getting a specific woman or getting women in your pipeline who you're dating or anything like that. It has to actually become you. The second you put an endpoint on any of these things is the second you start to go weak. You start to not have goals, you start to not have ambition, and you start to just do things for the short-term thrill of hoping and praying that you can attract a certain someone, when in actuality that void that you feel when it comes to who you are or who you want to be will never be fulfilled by the certain dating companions that you think you could have. So until you live out your life as a masculine man, until you live out your life with purpose, until you live out your life enjoying building your wealth and building your financial resources, until you live out your life understanding that developing the warrior and the strength within yourself is a crucial key for lifelong success and lifelong happiness, it's not going to internalize and become you. And the harsh truth for most guys out there is there is no one specific line, there is no one specific body language or communication tactic you can learn. You literally have to become a different person. You have to craft a new identity for yourself. You have to craft a new persona for yourself. And when you do this, you'll actually start to win. You'll actually start to feel enthusiastic about life, and you'll actually wake up every day without the stress and worries of the 99%. If you like this video and you aligned with some of the thoughts, traits, and belief that I just discussed, I'm running a webinar down below to teach the 4 keys of MBT. So MBT stands for Masculine Behavioral Techniques. And I boiled this down to a specific step-by-step process, A through Z, to take a guy literally from having no dating companions, no experience, no confidence within himself, to moving the needle all the way so far on the opposite side to having abundance, or even attracting and keeping the quality of woman that they've always wanted to. I've seen results inside of my community where guys of all shapes, all sizes, all heights, all parts of the world have done this and accomplished this exact thing within 30 days sometimes. And it happens because when guys make this internal shift and they start to use these tactics that I teach you in that webinar, they actually start to win. So guys, hit the like button. Check out the links down below. Mark your calendars, because we're doing our very first merchandise drop that I have ever done in the history of this channel on July 1st. And if you enroll into my newsletter, you get early access 1 day early. So that way you make sure that you actually get merchandise before I sell out on July 1st, because I do have limited supply for our very first ever drop. So guys, hit the like button, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's take a look here in my actual office, because I have a couple different hats that I want to show you guys. So stick with me here. Now obviously I'm gonna have a product page, right? Like I'll have an actual product page where you can see them. I'll have pictures of them when I do launch the link. But for now, let me just like try to really show you. So the first is going to be the trucker hat. Now the trucker hat is a mesh backing. This is the one I wear most to the gym or when I'm boating or jet skiing on the river. The material is super soft, super form fitting. The bill is a little bit more flat, but it can be curved, okay? So that's what you have to remember, like it can be curved. The headman logo is stitched and embroidered, and they're super high quality, okay? I paid really good money for these because I didn't buy these to maximize profit. I don't care if I make any money off these. I ordered these to build the brand. The second is going to be the dad hat. Okay, so this dad hat, that's what they call it, like they as in the merchandise sellers I bought it from. This is material all the way around, which what appears to be cotton, and from the tag, yep, 100% cotton. I don't know if you can see that. Once again, the headman logo is stitched and embroidered, and this bill is a little bit more curved. These are the two hats we're coming out with. The last is going to be a clean logo. Okay, so a clean logo is basically, what I mean by that is I really didn't want slogans or sayings on it. Like, I really just wanted something easy and something clean, because I think that that's what a lot of people like, and that's what I wear too. Like, I wear clean stuff. So this shirt is a very soft material. The headman logo is a print, okay, and there's actual like, it's actually like a rubbery kind of like it's gonna stay, is what I'm trying to tell you. Like if you wash this shirt, the logo is going to stay. It's not going to crack. They're built high quality. This, as far as what it's made out of, 50% polyester, 25% cotton, and 25% rayon. So it's not an exact tech fit material. It's not like an Under Armour material or a Nike material. I would say it's like a blend of both. It's like a polyester cotton blend. So the nice thing is that it's soft and it's form fitting from the polyester, but the cool thing too is that it's moisture wicking because of the cotton, and also that's just added comfortability and breathability. I know that myself personally, I don't typically like direct polyester shirts like Under Armour or Nike or even Lululemon, and the reason being is because I don't think that it absorbs sweat the proper way. Like a lot of times, since it doesn't absorb any sweat at all, it rolls off you and it sits on you, and I don't like that. I like my shirt to have some sort of ability to wick the sweat regardless, and to me that's how I feel most comfortable when I'm working out. Like that's why I picked this material too. So how do you get access to this? Well, July 1st, I'm going to be releasing the link to the public. Okay, so that means July 1st, the public gets the link. When we sell out, we sell out. If you're on my newsletter, okay, I'll put a link to the newsletter below, and you opt into that newsletter, you get access 24 hours early, okay? So that means you should apply on my email list, because I only have limited quantities of each, like you can see it. Like, I'm not joking either. I have a few boxes of hats. Here's all the quantities of the t-shirts, okay? Like, those are the sizes, that's what I got. It's not like I got a huge inventory. Now, this exact inventory will never be for sale ever again. Like every time when I do a launch and when I do a drop, it's gonna be a new design. So if you want to be having the first ever Headman official launch, July 1st, the people on my newsletter will get it one day early. And keep in mind, I'm going to be doing a handwritten card or a handwritten note with each of these. At minimum, I'm going to sign it, wish you all the best. And I want people who are supporting the brand and to help grow the brand, actually people who are followers and people who want to be part of this movement and part of this journey with me. So I hope this was a good enough advice video for you to see the shirts. I hope you got value out of this. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.